Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy TPGTCG back at it again with another video. I know it's been a while, but a lot's happened, right? So I'll talk about it for a quick second and then we're gonna get into the video. First of all, as you can tell, I've moved. So this is my new setup. It's looking good. I'm gonna try and get some more decorative stuff going on here, but for now, this is my new setup. So I moved across the country. I moved from Arizona and now I live in Oregon. So a lot better locals here, a lot more locals for a variety of games. So there's gonna be a lot going on the channel. I probably won't be making any Bandai videos anymore. Because now that of where I am, the card games that I enjoy a lot more, I can play a lot more frequently. So today, most of my videos from now on will consist of Cardfight Vanguard as well as Shadowverse Evolve. So thank you guys so much for supporting me through the years. But this is where the direction of the channel is going to be moving, and I hope to see all of you along for the ride. But I did play in my first ever Shadowverse Evolve tournament last weekend. Okay, so I got into Shadowverse when it came out, but I never actually got to play the game, like in a tournament setting, especially. And so I had one of my friends, shout out to TJ, aka Light TCG. He built me a deck a while ago, and he sent it to me, and I never got to play. Well, the weekend I got here, he finally sat down, taught me how to play, ran a couple games. It's like, this game is awesome. It reminds me a lot of like Magic meets Buddy Fight. I played a little bit of the browser game, but it's actually quite different due to the way that the game plays and some changes that were made. But it's really, really awesome. All that being said, I played in my first ever tournament and I got third in a Shadowverse Showdown, which for those of you who don't know, that's like the shop challenges for Buddy Fight, not Buddy Fight, for Bandai games. I have Buddy Fight on the mind because the 10th anniversary. There'll be a video coming out about that, but it's a big video and it's gonna be a lot of work. But so there's a lot of the game is really, really in depth, and I absolutely love it. But I got third in my first ever tournament, which also happened to be my first ever Shadowverse games. So the tournament was like 5 rounds, and those were my first 5 real games. I had played one game before with TJ. He taught me how to play the game, and that was pretty much it. So again, big shout out to TJ for helping me not only get the cards, but teaching me how to play and allowing me to fall in love with this game. All that being said, I've rambled on for about 2 minutes now. Let's get right into the deck profile. But first, before we get started with today's video, I'd like to introduce you guys to Light TCG. LightTCG.shop is your one-stop shop for all places Cardfight Vanguard and Shadowverse Evolve and other card games. Light TCG is a family-owned and operated online trading card game shop where they still have plenty of good offers on everything upcoming for Shadowverse Evolve and Cardfight Vanguard with some of the best prices on the market. And today those prices can get even better if you use code TPG. Again, that's code TPG for 5% off any order off Light TCG. I'll have a link in the description down below as well as that promo code. Thank you again for the sponsor, and go check out lighttcg.shop. Okay guys, so here's my camera setup. It's a little wonky, but it will look better in the future. But the deck I played was Swordcraft, okay? So Erica was my leader. Nothing fancy, right? Just the starter deck Erica. But Swordcraft is the deck I played. You know I love my knights. So here we got that. For our tokens, I only had 3. I had the Leonidas' Resolve, I had a Steelclad Knight, and I had a regular Knight. Of course, we have our evolution points. For my Evolve deck, we'll start there. We have Albert, Levin Saber. Okay, so 1 copy of Albert, 1 copy of Leonidas, 2 copies of Floral Fencer. Floral Fencer and Leonidas were really like my MVPs. Being able to search this out with a card I'll talk about later, or search out the base version with a card I'll talk about later, really made my late game pressure a lot better. Because the deck is very like aggro and very early rush based. Floral Fencer was like my best comeback card because this deck really, I'm just dropping my hand and swinging at your face. Hopefully that'll kill you. Floral Fencer ended up being one of my best comeback cards, especially Floral Fencer Evolved, allowing me to get the Steelclad Knight and the Knight token onto the board, which really helped me build boards in the late game, as well as, you know, of course, Leonidas, his last word summons Leonidas Resolves, which is really good. Anytime you can resolve Leonidas's last words effect, it's so good. 2 copies of Valiant Fencer, the main card of the deck. Really, really strong. Of course, you can only evo him if you have 2 or less in hand. That's not a big deal because oftentimes you're going to have 2 or less in hand just with how the deck plays. But just getting to evolve another follower on the board for free is so good. Next, we have 2 copies of Mock Knight. Mock Knight's super strong. Not only is the evolved version of him just a way to remove problematic bodies, but it also, the regular version of him is able to get Storm if played off anywhere from except for the hand, which is really nice. Lastly, the other MVP of the deck, pretty much all the heroic cards were like the MVPs because it's a heroic themed deck, was Amiro Spear Knight. Amiro Spear Knight has evolved. You get to select a heroic card in your cemetery, play it. And then also has Strike. If there's a heroic follower on your field, give it 1/1, which is really sweet. Moving on to the main deck, we'll start at the top end. So we have 2 copies of Leonidas. Okay, Leonidas is just a 5/6, but for 1 play point, you can evolve this follower. 2 copies of Albert Levin Saber. 3 to evolve, but he has Storm, so he's really just a way to close out games because it's a 3/5 decent stat line. Next, this card was like, honestly, if I had to pick a card in my main deck that came up the most, it was this card. Amelia Silver Paladin. Okay, so it's Fanfare. Choose one of the following. The first is select a follower that costs 1 play point or less. Sorry, 3 play points or less in your hand. Put it on your field. Super nice way to cheat out basically 7 costs worth of value. Insane. And then the second one is you just get a deal 4 damage to a follower on the board. So it also clears out really problematic bodies. Really nice card. Love this card to death. If I could play more copies, I would. 3 copies of Heroic Entry. This is a spell card we play. Really nice. You get a Gamba on the top cards. If you hit a Heroic, you're basically winning the lottery. If you hit a Mock Knight, you basically won a more $1 billion. Really good card though. 3 copies of Heroic Fencer. 2/2 evolve point. He evolves for 1, but you have to have 2 or less cards in hand. But on Fanfare, you search your deck for a heroic card with a different name than this card, reveal it, add it to your hand. So he can grab, of course, your Amiro Knight or your Mock Knight. Mock Knight is a 3-drop follower with 1 play point to evolve. But if he's put on the field anywhere other than from your hand, he gains Storm. So you can play him from your discard to hit the board to Storm, or you can play him off that Heroic Entry to Storm. And if you play him off Heroic Entry, he gets a permanent 1/1, which is really nice. Next, this card I talked about earlier, being able to search. This is Gemstaff Commander. Gemstaff Commander is really awesome. Basically what it does is on Fanfare, you get to search your deck for a Swordcraft follower, reveal it, add it to your hand. And basically you just get to tutor out anything you need. 3 Floral Fencer. It's just a decent stat-lined body, but it evolves for 1. And I talked about earlier how the evolved Floral Fencer is really a really good late game body because it gives you multiple bodies when you're running low on hand. 3 copies of Amiro Spear Knight. He has the same effect as his evolved form in terms of his strike effect, but he evolves for 1 play point. 3 copies of Iron Wrought Defender. Pretty decent card. He's a 2/2 stat line for a 1-drop, but then also if you have 2 heroics in your cemetery, he gains 1 defense and ward, which is very nice. 3 copies of Ninja Trainee, 1-drop 2/2 vanilla, decent stat line. 3 Old Man and Old Woman. At first I did not like this card, but at the end of the day this card was my MVP because there would be oftentimes people would drop like a big ward, a big blocker, and I'd just swing this into it and they would lose it and I would basically lose nothing. 3 Swordsman. Don't know how I like this card. He's a 1-drop 2/1. So the stats are good, but his effect literally never came up, so he's probably good. Again, I'm not too well versed in the game enough. That has never come up. Maybe in the chance my opponent's trying to save a body for later, he'll come up more. And then the last card of the deck is 3 copies of Quick Blader. Quick Blader was sick. Play this on turn 1. Swing at your opponent for 1 damage. Now they're playing at 19 on turn 1. Felt super nice. Anyways, that is the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite craft is in Shadowverse Evolved, because mine is definitely Swordcraft. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so glad to be back. I hope you guys do like this new content. I'm going to be loving this new content. And if you do, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Again, comment what your favorite craft in Shadowverse Evolve is, or if you're just now finding out about the game, comment what craft you think you would like to play. There's a bunch of them, and I'll be doing more gameplay videos and more videos about Shadowverse Evolve, as well as Cardfight Vanguard very soon. So if you'd like to see more content around either of those games, please smash that subscribe button and drop a like. That being said, I'll see y'all next time. Peace!